The film kicks off with the Duncan family joyfully marking their daughter's birthday, highlighting their strong connection. In the current timeline, William and Kat engage in a game of softball, sharing a special father-daughter moment through their favorite sport. Nevertheless, during dinner, the parents express worry about Kat prioritizing sports over academics. Despite their concerns, Kat asserts that she can balance both and is determined to emerge victorious in their upcoming match. Meanwhile, over at a strip club known as The Den, the infamous street gang called the Fetter Boys makes an entrance, enjoying the questionable sights. Simultaneously, their leader and father, Donnie, is brutally assaulting a man and ultimately takes his life. Shortly after, his two sons arrive, Rory, the older one, and Danny, the youngest. Danny declares his readiness to join their illicit operations and is handed his inaugural firearm, marking the initiation of his criminal involvement.
Make me proud. I got this.
Returning to the Duncan family, William and Kat decide to grab tacos to celebrate their victory in the game.
We were gonna win.
I didn't doubt you.
We only want the best for you.
William goes inside a Mexican restaurant to order, leaving Kat in the car.
I left you here. What would I eat for dinner?
Unfortunately, their fortunes take a dark turn when the Fetter Boys show up. They quickly pull Kat out of the car, and despite her pleas to spare her life and offering everything she has, her innocence doesn't matter. She becomes Danny's first task to officially join the gang. Danny, without hesitation, demonstrates his determination and remorselessly takes Kat's life.
On the pickup. Echo Tuesday.
Got the extra salsa and guac?
It's too late for William to intervene as he hears the fatal shots. William rushes outside and confronts Danny. Although Danny manages to knock him out, he still ends up apprehended by the police. Soon after, William and Jen receive the devastating news of their daughter's death and struggle to cope with the profound loss. Additionally, the justice served proves unfavorable, as Danny is sentenced to a mere 5 to 7 years in prison, a glaring injustice for the grieving family. To make matters worse, Danny doesn't even admit guilt in Kat's murder, arguing that William had a concussion during their altercation, rendering his testimony inadmissible.
Eyewitnesses, except you. At least this way, he's off for a good few years. I'm just saying what they're gonna say. If he keeps clean, he could be out in 3.
He should be executed, or...
I'm not disagreeing with you, Mr. Duncan.
William, feeling frustrated and disbelieving the pathetic state of affairs, finds it challenging to provide the justice his daughter deserves. Despite his reluctance, he begrudgingly accepts the plea deal for the sake of the case. In the trial, William shifts his intention from pursuing legal charges, deciding to take justice into his own hands.
Dismissed. What are you doing?
He opts to release Danny and follows the gang to Danny's residence, preparing for his eventual downfall. Danny remains unaware of the impending confrontation.
You're a man now. You can run this world.
William patiently waits until nighttime to enact his sinister plan, concealing himself in his car. However, a street worker named Luna notices him and approaches, offering herself, but he promptly declines. Shortly after, Danny emerges and William allows his rage to take control.
You here to kill me, huh?
Without hesitation, he runs Danny over and, consumed by fury, bludgeons him to death with his bat before fleeing the scene. Back home, he swiftly cleans his car and eliminates all traces of evidence related to his wrongdoing. Subsequently, he briefly engages in conversation with his wife, who is watching a family video before heading to the bathroom.
That was just yesterday.
Once inside, he experiences a profound shock and overwhelming emotions, realizing he has committed an irreversible and serious act. On the flip side, the Fetter boys arrive at their club. Rory hands over the accumulated money collected from the streets to Donnie, but Donnie is dissatisfied. He warns Rory that he won't be lenient if he falls short again in the future.
It's Danny. What?
Following that, Donnie receives the shocking news of his brother's death. They promptly rush to the crime scene, and the harsh reality sets in as he witnesses Danny in a body bag.
Yo, I can't let you in. That's my brother.
The day after, Detective Chun pays a visit to William, considering him a potential suspect. Despite appearing tense, William vehemently denies any involvement. Jen supports his alibi, affirming that he was at home the previous night.
Help?
Sure, I understand what you're saying.
However, after the police departure, Jen confronts William, leading to a heated argument where he takes offense at her suspicion. In their frustration and hurt, they struggle to empathize with each other while continuing to mourn their loss. At the club, Rory is determined to avenge Danny's murder. He instructs his men to track down the responsible party, identified as William based on Luna's description.
William Duncan. Get everyone. I want to go hunting.
The next day, Rory and Henley spot William working on his laptop outside a cafe and decide to ambush him from behind. Fortunately, William manages to counter their attack just in time. He attempts to escape, but eventually gets caught, hanging on for his life.
Excited, William Duncan.
Using his skills and experience, he defeats Henley and escapes once again. William reports the incident to a passing police car, but Rory smoothly evades arrest, despite his involvement in numerous crimes. Upon arriving home, he senses a threat and promptly secures the house. Jen then proposes they contact Chun for assistance. At the crime scene, the police determine it's another member of the Fetter boys, marking this as a serial occurrence. William reaches out to Chun, and they convene at the Duncan residence. There, Chun acknowledges the suspicion surrounding William's involvement and emphasizes that he initiated a conflict with Rory by seeking vengeance for Danny. Chun discloses William's Marine record, recognizing his capability to handle such situations. Despite this, he agrees to William's plea to safeguard his wife by stationing a police car outside their home.
You're gonna have to start talking to me. Be back tomorrow with a lot more questions. This is far from over.
Following that, a car smuggler named Dante arrives at Roach's illicit auto shop, offering contraband car parts in the black market. Instead of receiving money for the car, he gets a bag of high-quality firearms that could fetch a significant sum. Later that night, William admits to Jen about killing Danny as an act of retribution for their daughter's tragic fate.
Whatever is going on, we are in it together.
Oh, shit!
Suddenly, the police car departs when someone throws a bottle, paving the way for Rory and Donnie to infiltrate the house. What starts as a brief introduction and casual conversation quickly escalates into Jen's demise and William being shot to the ground.
Say hello to my son.
You should enjoy this. Do you see the light, William?
Despite being in a pool of blood, William manages to dial 911 as the Fetter departs. The next moment he's aware of, he finds himself confined to the hospital, unfortunately, without his wife. Emotionally distraught and physically incapacitated, he attempts to break free and expresses his reluctance to continue living. However, The medical staff puts forth their utmost effort to assist him. Once he calms down, Chen pays him a visit, referring to him as a miraculous survivor. Chen shares that they would announce his death if he commits to recovery and encourages him to embrace a normal life again, understanding the depth of his loss. After undergoing days of therapy, he eventually regains the ability to walk and promptly puts his escape plan into action. Disguised in a janitor's uniform, he easily exits the facility. Later, he takes up residence at the Western Motel, sharing the space with Dante, who he catches pilfering a stranger's suitcase. The following day, he withdraws his money from the bank. Unable to contain his curiosity, Dante, after learning about William's conflict with the Fetter boys, offers his assistance. Initially hesitant, William eventually seeks Dante's help in acquiring a firearm. Dante proudly reveals his assortment of guns in his office and, during the discussion, recounts his own previous confrontation with the Fetter boys. In that encounter, he suffered a shoulder injury and lost his cousin. Dante expresses a genuine willingness to assist William, fueled by their shared animosity towards the Fetter boys. Ultimately, William purchases all the guns, ammunition, Dante's vintage jacket, and a car, forming the foundation for his ultimate revenge.
The shoulder. 3 years ago.
Served a long time.
Willie, you can call me Dante.
Shortly after, he heads to an expansive field to refine his marksmanship, dedicating days to hone his skills for the impending confrontation with the Fetter boys. When the moment arrives to set his plan in motion, he visits the burial site of his family, offering a solemn tribute. The anguish of a husband and father remains irreparable, culminating only in a pursuit of vengeance. Under the cover of night, he readies himself to confront Zach, Rory's trusted ally. Stealthily infiltrating Zach's residence, he discovers him deeply engrossed in a video game. Seizing the opportunity, he launches a sudden assault, resulting in a fierce hand-to-hand struggle. Despite being initially overpowered by Zach's size and strength, fortune eventually favors William, and soon Zach pleads for mercy, invoking his daughter's life. However, William's retribution is devoid of any clemency.
God, I don't want to die like this.
Many hours pass, and the police come across Zach's motionless body. Chen then pays a visit to Donnie's workplace to give them a heads up. He discloses that the battle with William isn't concluded, despite public perception, and emphasizes William's role in Rory's men's deaths. Chen asserts that he's there with good intentions, urging Rory to lay low for some time to quell the conflict.
He's not going to stop. I'm actually here on a mission of goodwill.
Despite the uneasy discussion, the Fetters don't genuinely heed his advice, persisting in their pursuit to track down William once more.
It's fucking Bass. He's one man.
Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it.
Outdoors, William observes Chun leaving the den, sparking immediate suspicion about his actions. Feeling betrayed that even the authorities he relies on are overlooking their crimes intensifies his resentment. Sneaking up behind Chun with the officer's gun, they enter the house together. Accusing Chun of betrayal, William scorns him for failing to safeguard their community. Despite Chun acknowledging the Fetter's immunity in the system, he opposes William's killing spree. The irony is palpable, as they can't even hold the Fetter accountable. William warns Chun that it will end soon, but if he interferes, he won't hesitate to kill him. However, he assures Chun that he will surrender until that moment arrives. The next day, Donnie instructs Rory to definitively take out William, and they hastily depart. Unbeknownst to them, William had already anticipated their next move and concealed himself in his car parked outside the club. Employing his best drunk act, he discreetly neutralizes the bouncer and heads straight to Donnie's office, presenting the crime lord with an unwelcome and unexpected surprise. Aware of what's about to happen, Donnie urges him to get it over with. William initiates a conversation about the intense emotions he experienced the first time he intentionally took someone's life, recalling the day he killed Danny. However, in this very moment, he admits to feeling emotionally numb at the prospect of killing Donnie. He questions whether Donnie felt the same numbness when he killed Jen. In a flash, he ultimately ends the life of the infamous Donnie Fetter, the criminal who robbed him of his family, just as he did today. The gunshot echoes through the club, prompting people to quickly disperse. Taking Donnie's phone, William dials Rory. Without a hint of remorse, he delivers the news of his father's demise. Yet Rory remains stoic, not shedding a tear or flinching. The Fetter boys hastily return to the club, chaos ensuing as they pursue a deceased man, a figure transformed from William into a creature akin to themselves. In the office, they come across Donnie's motionless form. Despite this, Rory remains unaffected, displaying a certain detachment from his paternal connection. However, their focus is not on Rory, but on apprehending William. Abruptly, William's voice echoes through the speaker, revealing his continued presence in the club. Thus, the pursuit commences. Facing off against the Fetter boys alone, William knows the odds are never in his favor, and he might as well embrace the dignity of seeking revenge. Initially, he serenades them with a lullaby, but the situation turns violent in a rapid shootout. Taking one of Rory's associates hostage, he threatens to kill him, only for Rory to end the man's life. William, fortunately, manages to escape but sustains a shoulder injury. Dragging himself up a flight of stairs, Dante observes his struggle, while Luna reports William's whereabouts at the motel. Soon after, Rory, accompanied by his men, arrives. Despite inquiring at the front desk for William's unit, they fail and, in the end, execute him as if his life held no significance. Rory, driven by an unrelenting determination to kill William, repeatedly calls out for him, making his presence known. William continues to resist and collaborates with Dante in attempting to shoot their adversaries first. However, faced with overwhelming numbers, they are left with no choice but to exit the motel, engaging in a shootout as they depart. As night descends, their exchange of gunfire persists, and Dante grapples with evading pursuit on the tracks. Seeking assistance, he contacts his close friend, Roach, who willingly helps them enter the garage. Acting swiftly, they successfully maneuver into the garage, and Roach's gang opens fire on Rory's vehicle, forcing them to retreat. Undeterred, Rory crashes through the garage without hesitation, resulting in casualties for both gangs. Remarkably unscathed, Rory stands, while Dante and William sustain injuries. Expressing bitterness over Danny's unjust demise, Rory reveals his affection for his brother and how he wasn't meant for this harsh world. Seizing the moment, William capitalizes on Rory's emotional distraction, grabbing a screwdriver and thrusting it into his neck. Rory quickly succumbs, a smile of scorn on his face, ensuring a memory William will never forget. Shortly after, the sirens blare, and Dante manages to flee as the police encircle the area. The law enforcement officers observe the gruesome crime scene, but also interpret it as a victory, knowing that the Fetter boys are now history. The film concludes with Chun approaching William, who willingly surrenders to be arrested.
Can't have you die on me.
However, he soon breathes his last after successfully dismantling the infamous gang in his community, albeit at the cost of his own life.